This is Sully for antisocialnews.com. Go to antisocialnews.com. At the moment, it's going to link you directly to our Facebook, where we're going to be putting up all these links. Like and subscribe. These links are also going to be in the description of this video. So, like and subscribe for more body count news. This is July 17th, 2017, 71717. And I'm going to be talking about news stories. From here on out, this is going to be a daily upload. I'm going to be talking about news stories where people are dying around the world. I think it's very important that we focus on human life. I know it seems like a very crass way of putting it, saying body count news, but I really want to kind of shake people, and I want people to think, hey, this is what matters, because we are very celebrity obsessed in America. Talk about this politician or this athlete or this movie star, and really the only thing that matters is human life. So it's coming from my heart, but it's antisocial news, so I gotta be a little insensitive about this and just sort of bluntly put it. Check out the convoluted situation down there in Venezuela. So Venezuela referendum, big show of support for the opposition. From bbcnews.com in the World Latin America section, there are millions of voters going against the current administration in Venezuela, and there was a shooting that killed a nurse while waiting to vote. So it's really disgusting savagery down there, and take a look at the both sides of the political situation and try to get your brain around it. Men on motorbikes opened fire, killing 61-year-old Xiomara Soledad Scott and wounding 3 others. Opposition blamed a paramilitary gang for the shooting, which prosecutors said they would investigate. So, once again, look into this story. Link is at antisocialnews.com or in the description to this video. 62 people killed in multiple blasts and firings in shooting. Excuse me. It's Times of India, so they say firing for shootings. In 3 Pakistani cities. In Peshawar and Karachi, twin blasts tore through the market, crowded with Eid shoppers in a mainly Shia town. A suicide bomber blew up his explosive-laden car, and militants opened fire on police in separate attacks in Pakistan. In Pakistan's 3 major cities, killing 62 people and wounding nearly 100 others. This is an incredible story out of Times of India. It's heartbreaking. I don't think we'll ever quite understand in the West the belligerents in the Sunni-Shia conflict, but it's important for us to try to wrap our brains around, because it's going on, it's out there, we're caught in the middle of it sometimes. Educate yourself. Alright, now to Israel. Netanyahu won't tolerate Iranian bases in Lebanon or Syria. Now, this is a Jerusalem Post article. So learn about the Likud stance against Shia militants amassing at the border. I know a lot of people think that, why is Israel picking on Shia when Sunni might be the more prolific terrorists? Well, Israel has a functional relationship with Saudi Arabia, which is the Sunni hub for Islam. So while they will they will use military strength against Sunni militants, they don't have the same rhetorical fight against all Sunnis as they do against all Shia. And the reason for that is Shia are centralized. They have, I hate to do cultural equivalency, but they sort of have a Vatican, Qom, Iran. And in Qom, Iran is where the mullahs meet. That's where the the supreme leader dictates orders to the mullahs, and yeah, Iran is the center of power for Shia Islam. So keep that in mind. Also, they're very rhetorically anti-Israel, anti-Jewish, just in general. The malacracy there in Iran. So yeah, educate yourself. Link is in the description of this video. Jerusalem Post, Arab-Israeli conflict. Netanyahu, Israel won't tolerate Iranian bases in Syria. Moving all the way to Southeast Asia, we have Maute remnants hold ground in Marawi. And this is from Manila Times. Now there is, I believe, two, Abu Sayyaf and Maute. I don't know if it's the same group or not, but there are two really brutal terrorist groups in the Philippines currently acting, sort of vying for power, and they're offshoots of what was the MILF. Don't laugh. It doesn't stand for that over there. It's the Mindanao Independence Liberation Front, and they are being routed out by the Philippine military. So get them, Katipunan. So yeah, I like to see that the Filipino military is doing a good job in clearing ISIS out of their islands. They're absolute scum. Get them, Katipunan. All right, check that link, Manila Times. See how good guys are winning around the world too. It's not all bad news, and sometimes it's precious human lives killing terrorist dirtbags. So I say human life is precious, but you know, I feel like terrorists have sort of like ceded their right to be called human. So yeah, Abu Sayyaf and Maute hunting season is open in A-OK in my book. Xenophobic attacks in South Africa. Now, I put two links on this one because this story jumped out at me as being a wowzer. It appears that people in South Africa, it appears to be the native South Africans, are attacking foreigners. So I have a LiberianObserver.com report on this, where it's assuring Liberians that you are A-OK to come to South Africa and you're going to be safe. And then an Al Jazeera in-depth opinion piece on the xenophobic violence. So check it out. It's very interesting. You know, you got to get to know Southern Africa, a little bit South Africa, and very convoluted political situation there. Try to wrap your brain around it. You got to know what world you live in. Links in the description. Antisocialnews.com. 2 Israeli police officers killed in attack in Old City, Jerusalem. Now that headline is not accurate. That's a New York Times headline, of course. That's why it's so watered down. These were 2 ethnic minority guys. These are Druze, and they got sort of targeted, likely by an Arab gunman. Because of their status, that they were working for Israel, and that they were Druze, which is sort of an unrecognized Muslim minority from, I believe, Lebanon. So look in the description there. Follow the link, and also look up Druze. I'm also, you know, I'm gonna add a link. I'm gonna add a link to what Druze people are. There's a lot of different little ethnicities in the Middle East, such as Yazidi and even Kurd, which is a racial ethnicity. There's a lot of these groups that a lot of people don't know in America. They just think like Arab, but no, it's there's all sorts of different religious ethnicity breakdowns. Well, like even in Israel, you still have Samaritan. The Samaritans aren't, you know, fairy tale people that Jesus made up. They're a real ethnicity, kind of like they're basically the Jewish version of Amish, kinda. So, once again, I hate cultural equivalencies, but it's easy to make sometimes. Now, I did want to toss in one, not a life or death situation, but it is a layers upon layers situation from Times of Israel, where there's a poster with George Soros in Budapest, Hungary, with a swastika drawn on it. Now, the Times of Israel story seems to be saying, like, hey, this guy's Jewish, and they got a swastika on his poster. That's anti-Semitic. And I can almost guarantee you that it was a conservative Jew that did that. Because there is, or maybe somebody not Jewish at all, but they're calling Soros an anti-Semite, is what the poster is doing. It's friggin' obvious. They're not saying death to Jew. They're saying this Jew is a Nazi. Well, this guy is a Nazi. They may not even know he's Jewish. I don't know if the writer of this is aware, but there is a viral false narrative out there that Soros was literally a Nazi. Like, he actually worked with the Nazis in Germany. Not true. He was only about 13 when the Nazis were still in power where he lived, so he really couldn't have been employed by the Nazis. And then, of course, everybody points out that he was ethnically Jewish. So, I mean, that kind of waters down that whole concept anyway. But that being the case, or that aside, Soros has not been a Jewish philanthropist, because that's what it says in the article. Soros has been a American Democrat philanthropist. He supports American Democrat causes, which include Black Lives Matter and different foreign endeavors, which have included things that have agitated in Israel. So he's not a guy that's super pro-Israel, because the American Democrats are not pro-Israel. They are, a lot of them are very pro-Palestinian. I mean, Obama was incredibly pro-Palestinian, and George Soros supported Obama. So, I mean, putting the swastika on George Soros is somebody saying, this guy hates Jews, or this guy hates Israel, or this guy is a Nazi. They may think that they may believe the news story that he's a Nazi. The fake news story. I hate using the term, but yeah, it's a fake news story. All right, that's a layers upon layers I tossed in there at the end, but this has been Body Count News, the very first episode, 7/17/17. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing this every day. Daily uploads, all during the week, Monday through Friday, every day. I'm going to do Body Count News. We're doing something different on the weekends. So check us out, like and subscribe, and comment if you want me to talk about your country. I'd love to. So I'd love to look at what's going on. Also, look at real news that matters. Don't just look at celebrity news. Don't just look at what Caitlyn Jenner or whatever politician you like or dislike is doing. But look at news that really, really matters. Life or death situations. What's the body count? Because human life is all that really matters. This is Sully for Antisocial News. Cheers.